Okay. We're going to try this one last version to eliminate at least one variable here, which is my computer or the headset set up over there. It may be an internet thing. It may be a YouTube thing. If this doesn't work, then we're just going to have to try a different night. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know what was going on. Yeah, that thumbnail is terrifying. I'm sorry about that, but I'll repost one here in a minute. For those of you watching in the future, we have been having some technical difficulties. I'm plugged in now. Can you guys still hear me on my headphones right now? Okay. I'm thinking that if nothing else, if it's an internet issue, then it'll fall back on my wireless. So maybe that will help. We'll find out. Let's see. So, for those of you watching in the future, sorry about making you sick right now, moving you around like this, but I'm going to say this one more time. For those of you who've already been here trying very patiently to stick with me during this, I'm sorry that you have to hear this a third time, but that's part of the joys of being live. So, for those of you watching in the future, we've been having some technical difficulties. We are going to talk about how to get deals on books and on ebooks. I'm going to start with my tips about how to get deals on books because I have fewer of those because it is just basically harder to get deals on physical books. And then we'll move into ebook deals, and I'm hoping those in the chat can ask questions and have their own tips. So we'll see. And look, now you get to see the kitties. Instead of them crying for the next hour at the door, you get to actually see them being a terror and running amok. I think of them sort of like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, because they're always scheming, man, and she's the mastermind. So, okay, books. One caveat that came up in the last stream when we were trying to get this going is a question about like, hey, do we have some non-Amazon tips? Some of the things we're going to talk about are applicable outside of Amazon. Some of them aren't. We could do a whole thing about corporate ethics, etc. So I'm going to leave any corporate ethics to the side for this particular conversation, though that is something we often end up talking about here in live stream anyway. So first tip is around used books. So online, the two main places I think that have good used book options, sometimes these are cheaper than new books. Often they're cheaper than new books, but sometimes not. If it's like a special edition or if it is like a hard to find book, then it may not be cheaper, but often it will be cheaper if you get it used. Amazon, I do think generally I've had pretty good experiences getting used books from them. And then eBooks is one that I've not used in a little while, but especially when I lived in Canada, I used them quite a bit. And I had good experiences with them. So the other option is always to go to your local used bookstore. I have a great one here locally called McKay's, but support a local bookstore, even if it's a used one. Madison says, one online used bookstore that I never see people talk about is Better World Books. I've never even heard of that, Madison, so thank you for shouting that out. I'll have to give that a check. Someone else saying that they like Better World Books, okay? Good to know. See, this is why it's good to do it live. We get group think here. We get pooling of ideas. Thrift Books is another good one. Yeah, that is true. I've used them before and had a pretty good experience there. So that is always an option. Sometimes they are, did you hear that? They're playing in these boxes, man. They're having a good time. Sometimes you can get used books that are basically like new, which is often the ones I go for. But especially if you don't care about the condition, you can get very good deals on used books. But with those two, be aware that sometimes the condition or edition is not what the picture shows. Yeah, I can tell you I've had good experiences specifically with Amazon and with eBooks about the conditions being pretty congruent with what was described. I don't think I've really ever been too disappointed with how close those were to actually being in the condition described. It's been so long since I've used thrift books, I can't remember, but that is one of my tips for getting, if you're just purely looking for physical books at a good price, that is definitely a good option. Another tip I have, let's see here. Okay, yeah. So I do find, oh, I see some people having some more feedback here. So let's see here. Condition is always interesting. I think people have widely varied definitions of good, which that is true. That's why it's nice, at least on Amazon, you can see reviews of that seller, and I think you get a higher sense of confidence if their description of good is actually good. Somebody mentions that their local used bookstore is overpriced. I have found that used bookstores prices have been going up a lot, especially in the last 5 years, so I hear that. Libraries often have a great selection of used books for sale. That is true. I do find that's harder to get good condition library used books, but your local library book sale is also a great way to support them and to get some good used books. Facebook Marketplace, half price books in Texas. Okay. Oh yeah, Powell's Book in Portland is online. Yeah, they do have, I think, a pretty good used section, and I've had a couple of experiences ordering from them online. I think that the condition was mostly what I was expecting, but there you go. eBay is good if you want vintage copies or book lots. That is true. Flea markets, Goodwill. Yeah, so there's a ton of ways to get used books, and if price is truly your driver, that's going to be honestly often your best bet, especially some of these things like Goodwill, flea markets, library book sales. That is a great way to get books at a discounted price. Now, if you're wanting to get new books at a good deal, well, first let me mention a couple of just like places that I find generally have pretty good prices on books. I don't use or support them, but Book Outlet is one that a lot of people use, and especially around access. It is accessible, and so I wanted to mention it. I, even before their recent kerfuffles, had stopped using them because I personally was not happy with the customer service piece of things. And so I would just put that out there that I can't really vouch for them. Business ethics aside, I was not happy with the customer service experiences I had. So I would just want people to be aware of that, but that is a good option, or can be a good option. Let's see here. Dollar Tree has a decent variety of books. Good to know. I would never have thought to go there. So Book Outlet is an option. I also do find that Book Depository often will have pretty good prices, especially on paperbacks, I've found. I think that is because they are based in the UK, and I think in general the UK has better prices on paperbacks than the US tends to. I will tell you that I was made aware a couple of weeks ago in this live stream that Book Depository is owned by Amazon. I thought that they were not, and that broke my little heart a little bit because I thought it was at least one non-Amazon online outlet I was shopping from, but what you gonna do? And yeah, somebody's mentioning Book Depository is one I've always had excellent experience with for new books. I agree. I've had two return situations, and both of those were handled very well and to my satisfaction. If you don't live in the UK, shipping times are longer, so that is a drawback. But I kind of like to think of it as like the mysterious days of old. You never quite know when your package is going to arrive. So yeah. Yes, Book Depository is owned by Amazon. I didn't know it either. It's very sad. Amazon and Disney own the world. Whew, ain't that the truth? eBooks, that is true. eBooks is also owned by Amazon. I should have mentioned that. let's see here. Discount on new books has always been weird to me because in France we have a law that caps discounts on new books at 5%. This helps small and independent bookstores versus big players like Amazon. Oh, that's really interesting. I buy all my Penguin cloth bounds from Target. They're usually under retail and included in their buy one get one free sale. Yes. Okay. So we talked about Book Outlet, Book Depository. Yes, things like Target and Walmart in the U.S., Barnes & Noble, Waterstones, whatever. If you, how to say this? If your taste in books is not as specific and tends towards a lot of like the best sellers, those can be really good, like especially the kind of big retailers, like big box retailers like Target and Walmart can be a great way to get some of those buy two, get one free kind of things. They also do tend to be a little bit marked down as compared to sort of like the back of the cover price. So, going to Target or Walmart, you're probably not going to be able to get like, I don't know, like you guys know I read a lot of obscure isolated closed circle mysteries. Like I'm not going to be able to get the random like John Bood mystery from them. But if you're looking for like more of a bestseller, then those can be great places to get deals. And Lolo, I'd never thought about trying to get, I got a couple of my Penguin cloth bounds through Walmart, but I never thought about doing that on the buy two, get one free. So that's a great tip. If you maybe can be patient for some of those things. Also, just so you know, future tips, patience is going to come into a lot of this. If you need books right away, you're much less likely to be able to get a deal. So there you go. How much does the Book Depository charge for U.S. shipping? I guess it would depend on the state you live in. No, actually, one of the things I like about Book Depository is that they do not charge anything additional for shipping. So that is baked into whatever cost of the book. Also, because I think it's operating under the VAT theory, there's not additional tax by state. So what you see on the price is what you get. Are any of the book boxes by mail a good deal? I think Book of the Month Club for a new release hardback at $15 US, I think that is a pretty good deal. Obviously the selection is limited and so you're not getting a lot of choice, but I think that's a pretty good deal. Subscription boxes in general, like the ones with all the like swag in them, I don't always know, I think are great deals, but that's really the only one that I have much experience with. Yeah, Lolo is mentioning Target online sells pretty much everything Amazon has, including tons of foreign language. Yeah, Target, I would say I do find that they don't have quite as good of a selection as Amazon or Barnes & Noble. They do have a pretty darn good selection, though. I just don't think you're going to be able to get some of the more obscure books that you can get through some more book-specific retail sites. But, yeah. Let's see here. My bank won't let me buy from Book Depository, so I use PayPal. Yeah, Book Depository takes PayPal, which I also really like. I tend to always try to use PayPal if I can. I always try to go to local bookstores to support them and even found a few first edition Christie's there. Shout out to your perfect Christie blog. Thank you. Yeah, so I should say right now, this is in no way meant to undercut the importance of shopping locally and buying from your local bookstores and buying at full retail price. If that is something you are in the position to do, it's something I'm in the position to do, I do try to do that as well. The reality is most people cannot afford to routinely drop $30 for a hardback for a brand new release. So again, leaving some of the politics of all of that to the side, or the kind of ethics, we could have a whole maybe discussion about that. But how long does it take for Book Depository to ship to the US? I would expect a 2-week lead time. So it's not one that I would recommend to somebody who's looking to get a book like in a specific time frame. I do the opposite and buy most of my bestsellers, more common titles from my local bookstore. Interesting. See, Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I've bought some new books at my grocery store for a discount, especially mass market romance. That is true. You can get some deals on those at your local grocer or Target or Walmart or whatever. Let's see here. Books A Million has pretty good deals. Yes, if you have a Books A Million, if you're in the US, especially in their kind of like discounted section, I actually think they have some really good deals there. Again, that's going to be more for if you're not necessarily, like you can't, if you go to that, you can't be looking for a specific book. It's more of a like, ooh, look what's on sale. Yeah, I heard of that one. That sounds good, if that makes sense. I wish Barnes & Noble let you use your membership discounts online. Oh, I didn't know that they didn't let you do that. Ooh. Let's see here. Also, look up Little Free Library in your area. If you go to their website, you can search by zip code. Yep, so that's another good way to get like used books for free, not even for money. Let's see here. I like to do pre-orders because many times there's a discount and it also helps the author. So yeah, that was another tip I have is, so I'm piloting or experimenting with doing switching my pre-orders to bookshop.org instead of Amazon. But so I'm not sure how this will work because I haven't actually gotten my first pre-order from them. But at least with Amazon, if you pre-order, to Agent MG's point, you do help the author. It is very books that I'm wanting to support in terms of like making sure they do well. I will often pre-order either physically or through Audiobook because that definitely helps authors out. But also, if you do that, you can often get a discount of some kind because whatever the lowest price that book is in the lead up to the publication date, you get that price. So, Rip Bodice has some great used book opportunities for romance. Yes, I agree, and I've had a really good experience with Rip Bodice in terms of like their turnaround time for shipping, even in the midst of COVID stuff. So, that's exciting. For someone that lives in Latin America, Book Depository is one of the only options for cheap books that didn't get translated into Spanish. That is great to know. I mean, again, I'm sad that Book Depository is owned by Amazon, to be honest, but I really have had very good experiences with them. They're one of the sites I feel really good. Like I've had good experiences. I feel comfortable recommending them to people. I've not talked about NetGalley yet. We'll get there with the ebook bit. Yes, okay, if you have kiddos, look up Dolly Parton's library, free books for kids from birth to 5 in participating areas. So Dolly Parton, actually my uncle dated Dolly Parton when he was in high school. Dolly Parton is like from my area, and she is an actual goddess. But one of the things she does is Dolly Parton's library. So if you are in the southeast of the US, there's a good chance that you can get qualified to participate in that. Excuse you, what about your uncle? Yes, it's a fact. My dad's side, they grew up very, very poor in the mountains, and they felt rich compared to the Partons, apparently. She was a lovely person even back then, apparently. Pre-order especially helps on prices for hardbacks, but you have to be patient and wait for the mass market paperback price. Yeah. Dollywood is awesome. It is, though please don't go there right now. That is like a outbreak area in Tennessee and our rates are going up. So please stay away from Gatlinburg. I know it's amazing. I love Dollywood too, but like 2020 is not the year for it. I buy from UK sources when I like the UK cover better than the US cover. I also use that. I use Book Depository for that. Is Parnassus Books good? It is great. It is one of my local bookstores. It's one that I support. If you're looking for a deal, that's not what I would recommend. Okay, so those are some of the like outlet tips I have. Sorry, I'm looking at my list to make sure I don't forget things. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention is credit card points. So depending on what kind of credit card you have, you may have points that are easily applicable to buying books. I have an Amazon credit card. I made that choice when I was 21. And I'm not sure, hey, Little Elmo, Little Big Bird, either participate in the conversation or maybe cool it. Those are kind of the options here. So I do have an Amazon credit card. I do have points, and that is, I use those points to get some of the like more special edition things that are a little more expensive. So that is an option. There's other credit cards that have points. Please don't ever go into credit card debt unless you actually absolutely have to. But if you are somebody who wants to use a credit card, points can be a way to do that creatively. Can you get authors who are not distributed in the US through Book Depository? Yeah, that's how I got, for instance, C.L. Taylor. Her books are not released in the US, but they are in the UK. So that's where I go to get her stuff. Also, weirdly, you can find used books on Etsy. Who knew? Okay. The last. Oh no, Madison, I love the suggestion. Keep them coming. I will go into credit card debt for all the books. Yeah. I know some people have complicated feelings about credit cards and whether or not they're a good or bad thing. I think that that's a whole side note. I'm not even going to go there. But I just want to make sure I'm not like promoting like going into debt to get books, because we have already demonstrated there's a lot of ways you can get free books or very cheap books without having to do that. So I've seen some people sell on Depop. Interesting. Don't forget about giveaways. Yes. Okay. That's another thing. There are so many giveaways. So maybe this transitions somewhat into ebook suggestions and whatnot. But I think that if you have certain authors that you're invested in, it is a good idea to follow them on their different social platforms. And if you really like them, to also subscribe to their newsletter, because they will often either do giveaways or they will let you know when things are going to go on sale. So you can do that. Also, I've won several giveaways on Goodreads. So Goodreads giveaways for physical books can be good. Let's see here. I used to sell books on Depop. There you go. With the Amazon Book Depository merger, I hope Book Depository will start carrying some more indie authors that are on Amazon. On that note, I have actually noticed bookshop.org does have a surprising number of indie pub books. I've been surprised. So there you go. Yes, I want to echo what you're saying. Credit cards are the most expensive forms of debt you can take on. Check your APR before revolving. Sorry, ex-banker here. Yes. Credit card debt is incredibly expensive. Some people, life happens, and I'm glad people have access to quick lines of credit that doesn't involve payday loan kind of situation. So I don't want to just say all credit card debt is always bad, because sometimes it's what you can do. But if at all possible, please do not carry interest on a credit card, because it is very expensive money. So I hear you. That was kind of where my mind was going to. I'm an accounting undergrad, so I'm like, do I need to get into this whole thing? Let's see here. Yes, also Goodreads sends me emails about giveaways for books I've already marked as want to read. Yes, that is one of the kind of workflow things that I have going. When I see a book I'm interested in, I always put it on a shelf on Goodreads for that exact reason, because often books that you have on your shelves, a giveaway may run for them, even super old books that maybe are having a reprinting or whatever. So that can be a great way to be able to get some deals there too, or to get notified about giveaways. Let's see here. I haven't won a Goodreads giveaway since 2014. I've been winning a lot recently. I don't know why. I am suspicious it's because the number of friends I have has gone up recently. I don't know. Oh, Alexandra, I put I forget what I told you, but I replied to your request for a recommendation, and right now I can't remember what that is, but go check, reply on your comment, because I did have a recommendation. I don't remember what it was, though, off the top of my head. I've been seeing a lot of romance lots on eBooks, on eBay, which look tempting. Yeah, BookBub, we're going to get there. My local bookstore just did a cool thing where if you bought $40 or more, you got a surprise ARC. It was wrapped in paper with vague description written on it. That is a great idea. I love that. Finance is like, whoa, I know. I could do like a whole thing. One of my friends recently, like, we had like an entire financial seminar because she's getting her first job that has like retirement and all that. So we like went through like, here's how you pick which health plan you're going to go on. Here's your retirement strategy, all that stuff. Let's see here. Okay. Instagram giveaways too. Yeah, so if you follow authors on Instagram, you can get things there. Let's see here, trying to catch up. Most giveaways ship only to the US. Yeah, part of it is it's not just the US bias, it's also just that sometimes the publishers only have rights to send to the US and Canada. That's actually like pretty common. So sometimes it's a matter of like non-US, whoever has the non-US publishing rights isn't doing the giveaway. So let's see here. Video on finances would be great. Well, that would be, there we go. Let's see here. Okay, so then the last kind of tip in the physical book area that I have, let's see, I see you heard the comment, but I can't see the response. Dang, oh no. Okay, I'll try to remember what I said. I don't remember, but I'll try to, at the end, Alexandra, I'll try to come back if you'll remind me once we kind of get through the main topic and try to remember what I said about that. So, let's see here. At least once, oh yeah, kitten versus wall. Yeah. They spend a lot of their time just like futilely pawing at doors. I don't know what that is, but they enjoy it. At least once a year, my book club does blind date with a book and trade books that way. Let's see here. The book crossing site isn't designed specifically for book swaps and such, but it's a huge community. If you get involved and make friends there, you'll get books. Oh, good to know. Book exchange. Yeah, that's another great idea. Just exchange with people who you already know. Okay, so the last tip I have, and this kind of bleeds into ebook stuff, but this is definitely a big part of how I get deals on books. So I use Amazon for this. You could, but I also do this on Book Depository. You could do this on any online site that you're buying from. I keep a ton of different kinds of wish lists, and I do that for a few reasons. One, it helps me remember books that I'm interested in, and when I add a book to my wish list, when I add it, I put in the notes what the price was at the time I added it. And that gives me a baseline so that I can assess over time what a good price on that book is. So sometimes if a book is going in low quantities in inventory, oh, hey buddy, he's trying to escape. He's so cute. Oh, I love my cat so much. Sorry, I got distracted by how freaking cute he is. Oh, they've also moved that rug. Good to know. Sorry, I got very distracted by just the adorable cat. Okay, so often when books are going into a lower inventory amount, they're trying to just get rid of them. And so you can sometimes get a good price drop that way. You're more likely to get a good price drop on books that are a little bit older. And the other thing is that it helps you learn what a good price for a book is. So I have some books that have been in my wish list for more than a year, like years at this point. I try to go through periodically and like delete ones that I'm no longer interested in, but still have books that have been in there for a long time. And sometimes it's that I didn't know when I put it in my wish list that it was at what was going to prove to be one of its lowest prices ever. And so maybe I added it when it was at $11, and then since then it's been sitting at like 17 ever since then. So I like hold on hope that someday it's going to go back to 11. But basically, if you put things in wish lists and keep track of what the kind of price spread is, it gives you a good sense of like what a good price for that book is, so that when there is a price drop, you will know that that is like one of the best prices you're going to be able to get that book at, and you can jump on it. So I do that on Amazon, and I also do that on Book Depository for some of the editions over there that I'm looking for. And yeah, basically it's creating a way for you to A, keep track of the books that you have your eye on. B, this is a strategy for if you are not looking for that book like tomorrow, that you're willing to kind of wait it out a little bit. And C, like you eventually kind of can keep your eye and know, like you can spot a good deal when you see it, and you can pull the trigger when the time is right. Okay, let me catch up with chat here real quick. Let's see here. OMG, your cat is so cute, I know. So cute. Your wish list with prices seems like a big Virgo moon. Well, I am a Virgo moon, so yes. And I should say, for me, this is a hobby of mine. Like, I have so many hobbies around reading because I'm just such a nerd. But one of my hobbies is like trying to get deals on books. I just enjoy it. Like, my whole family, we're all like a sucker for a deal. So like, I enjoy it. Honestly, it's a part of my morning routine. Like when I'm drinking some tea or coffee, I'll go through and look at my wish list and see what the price changes for the day have been. And it's like just the way some people I think like would check Instagram or Facebook, I'll check my wish list because it's just fun. But I don't expect anybody to do this the same way or feel like this is necessary. This is just if you are as much of a sucker for a deal as I am. You should have a side feed of the cats. I mean, literally, I could just look at them all day long. The cat is very, very cute, sending hugs. Yes, cat cam. Kitty is stealing the show. Yes, these kitty cats. Okay. Sure, you mentioned this already, but I joined a library in my area via online and can borrow 29 books for free. Yeah, library is always going to be a great option for free books, but this is more focused on like if you are trying to own them. There seems to be a 10% discount on selected titles at Book Depository right now. Yeah, they do that. They will kind of run from a select list a percentage off. And sometimes they'll send you a coupon for 10% off of books in your wish lists, which is another reason to do wish lists on Book Depository, because you can get 10% off sometimes. He's trying to get into the wine. Yeah, they're very intrigued by this wine cart. Everything is crowded on top of it, so they can't stand there, and it drives them crazy. Like, they really would like to be able to stand on that. I use Honey to find deals when I buy online. Yeah, Honey also, especially I've noticed on Amazon, can help you keep track of when a book is at a good level. We all got distracted. Yeah, they're just so cute. Oh, well, see, now he's looking at me. He's right under here. He's wanting to come up. Amazon will tell you the price drop since you added it. Yes, it will. But in that example I gave, like if I put it in my wish list at 11, but its price is sitting at 17. If I put it in at 11, it's never going to mention that the price has dropped, because that was actually the floor of the price rather than the ceiling. Whereas if I'd put it in my wish list at 17 and it was at 11, it would tell me the whatever percentage drop. So I always wait for when the paperback is about to come out, the hardcovers go on deep discount. That is true. If you can wait out that release, you can usually get a better deal on the hardcover. I keep a Christmas list and just hope my family will buy the books I want. It means that a lot if family members buy me a book I love. Yeah. Okay, someone else who checks the price drops daily. Yes, you're not alone. Some of us just love a deal. I'm just a cheap ass bitch in my heart, to be totally honest with you. I feel mildly bad. My cat comments open the door for cat comments. Cat comments are always welcome. Plus, we're out in the living room tonight, so you're just gonna see them. Okay, I track books. I track book prices across Book Depository, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, eBay too, and compare them to Audible. Yeah, it's a hobby. It's just like the thrill of the hunt kind of a thing. So, does Honey work on Book Depository? I haven't noticed that it does, but probably. Let's see here. I find the thrill of buying a book is better than reading it at times. Truer words were never spoken. I will always check the price drops, never want to miss a good deal. Yep. I go a little overboard and have multiple wish lists based on genre because my Goodreads TBR is like 8,000 books. Hey, you're going to get no judgment from me. The way I have mine are my public facing one that like my family can see. Then I have one of what I call actively investigating, the ones that are like on my high want list. Then I have for reference, library reads. Oh, well, I should mention that too. I have an extension in my Chrome browser called library something, and it's a little pop-up that comes up on Goodreads and Amazon. I think Book Depository, I forget if it's on Book Depository, and it will show me if it's available at my library. So sometimes books that I'm not sure if I actually want to buy, and I see when I go to look at the page that it's in my library, I will put in my library wish list. And then if it drops down to super cheap, then I might just go ahead and pick it up. But it's a reminder to me that it is available at my library, so the calculus is a little different. This could be the result of being a fellow Cancer Sun and Virgo Moon. It's a good combo. Sag rising, that's me. Let's see here. What is your opinion of ebook piracy? I am so strongly against it. Yeah, it's probably the long and the short of it there. As you can see, I have a lot of ways to get books for very cheap or for free. So I guess I just don't have a lot of space for the idea that there are not a ton of ways, including the library, to get books for cheap or for free that don't involve stealing somebody's work. So that's where I'm at it. Oh, I didn't know about Honey, and we'll check it out. Yes, Honey is great. Honey is great for like all retail shopping. It's actually really disrupted affiliate revenue models online because they make all those codes available. Well, let's see here. That extension is just called Library, and it's literally my favorite extension. Thank you. Yeah. Crazy how Amazon corners the market with Goodreads, Book Depository, and Audible. Yeah. Like I've called them the Voldemort of online retailers before, and I will stand by that. Let's see here. Yeah, I live in Texas where we can have multiple library cards with 3 different counties. So I have like 3 different counties library cards. The nice thing about that library extension is it lets you add as many libraries as you have access to. So it's really cool because you can see which of the libraries you have access to has the book. So LibriVox is also a source for audiobooks. Yes, that's true. Okay. So I think that's most of my physical book tips. And then we're going to move into ebook. I'm going to try to keep this moving because I think my battery is not going to last forever. I wasn't planning on streaming here, so we're making it work. Okay. Ebooks. A few things I wanted to mention. So first of all, eReaderIQ is really helpful. So, well, first let me back up. Wish lists are also very helpful for ebook deals, not just physical book deals. In fact, I see much more movement on my ebooks that are in my wish list. Like there's a lot more movement on those prices. And especially if you're willing to wait, you can usually get an ebook eventually, at least in the $2.99 range. Like if it starts, I mean, there's some publishers who I'm just like, guys, you have got to put your backlist on sale on ebook more often than you are right now. Oh, hey, sorry, my cat is chewing a pen. Hold, please. Kitty, come here. Oh, he has recently discovered pens, and they're his favorite thing to chew. So I keep finding my pens all over the house in a half-chewed state. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Are you sad now? I'm sorry. I'm no fun. I saved my pen though. Okay. Sorry. Kitten break. Do you want to say hi? Hi. Are you mommy's sweet boy? Yeah, you're that little. Okay. Let's see here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the wish list thing definitely holds true for ebooks, and I think if you are patient, often you can get a deal on any book. Does the library extension work just for Amazon? It also works on Goodreads, which is owned by Amazon. But if you don't want to just look on Amazon, it does work on Goodreads. And I think Book Depository, I can't remember. You got me into Agatha. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Cute and naughty, that's how it goes. That's my tagline, so why shouldn't it be theirs? Hi everyone, just found this chat on YouTube recommendations. Well, welcome. Yes, my cats are very, very cute. Okay, so wish list can be helpful. If you are looking for a targeted book, like you have a specific book that you are trying to get a deal on. One of the suggestions I have of how to do that through with eBooks is through eReaderIQ, and I'm sure that there are similar services, but eReaderIQ is the one I use. And what that lets you do, it's free. You can enter in basically a watch list, and you can watch either an author or a specific book. So what I do is I have certain authors that regardless of what book it is, I want to know if they have an ebook go on sale. So like Agatha Christie, Nora Roberts, Nalini Singh, Alona Andrews. There's some of those that even if I have the physical book already, I would probably also like to have the ebook. And so if there's a sale, I just want to know about it. So anytime any of those books go on sale through Amazon, I get a notification telling me that it's on sale. I should mention this is focused on Kindle because that is my e-reader, so that's where I'm trying to get deals most often. So you can do it by audiobook, or not audiobook, sorry, by author. Yes, eReaderIQ.com. And I will update the description when I get a chance. I had all of this in the description and then that didn't work out for the original stream, so. So you can do it by author, then you can also do it by specific book. So if there is a specific title that you're wanting to see if there's going to be a price drop on it, you can put that in there. And what you can do is set it to either send you an email whenever there's any price drop, or you can pick a target price and ask it to notify you when it hits that target price. So if I had an Agatha Christie ebook, and I was willing to pay $2.99 for it. Normally those retail between $5.99 and $7.99. I could put in that as my target price, $2.99, and if it dropped to $3.99, I wouldn't get an email, but if it dropped to $2.99, I would. So I think that that is a really helpful tool if you have like specific ebooks you're trying to get a good deal on. And again, if you are willing to be patient, because sometimes it can take years for an ebook to reach a specific price. But like the sweet victory when I've waited out the pricing on that, it is truly satisfying to me because I'm a cheap ass bitch, I've told you. So that I think is a really helpful tool for like targeted deals that you're looking for. Google Play Books also regularly has $5 coupons and sales on ebooks. Good to know. Another tip I have is signing up for newsletters, either for publishers or for specific authors. I mentioned this already for authors. They will often let you know if their books are going on sale, or sometimes they will have like bonus content additionally. So that'll be like a free book for people in their newsletter. But publishers have great newsletters sometimes and will sometimes include either deals or will have free ebooks that they offer if you subscribe to their newsletter. So the great example of this is Tor.com has a great newsletter. A, I just enjoy the newsletter, but B, if you subscribe to it, every month they give a free ebook out. So that, for instance, is how I got All Systems Read for free the first time I read it. It was just a random Tor.com. Like, I almost always get their free book each month. So, you know, they have like good quality free books that they're giving out. So they do a great job of that. I'm subscribed to several publishers' newsletters, and they rarely will actually do a free ebook the way that Tor.com will, but they will send you emails with deals for books in their backlog that are going on sale. So that can also be a good way to get notified about deals. Let's see here. Newsletters. I recently downloaded a new Lainey Singh book for free thanks to her newsletter. Yeah. Let's see here. St. Martin's Press has sent me 3 books just for subscribing. Yes, the daily deals on Amazon, and I'm sure that there's parallel ones for different, like Google Books or whatever. That can be a great way to get books for free or for a good deal. Daily deals, but also monthly deals. Check those out at the beginning of each month. There's like 1,000 books that go on sale. Some of them are not great, but every once in a while I'll find a little gem in there. Anyone mentioned Project Gutenberg yet? No, I hadn't gotten there yet, but we'll just go ahead and mention that, especially books that are in public domain. Their ebooks are likely available on Project Gutenberg for free. I got Calculating the Stars from Tor as well. Yes, I got that one too. I thought that was a great example of like so that is the first book in a series. So that's something else Tor.com often will do, is that if they have like sequels coming out for one of their authors, they'll often put the first book in that series up for free, or yeah, in their newsletter up for free. Let's see here. Simon Schuster gives me an ebook on my birthday month. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know about that. For free books, I type in 0.00 books. Works on Book, Kindle, Google. Oh, that's a good idea. There's a site called The Fussy Librarian that sends emails with free ebooks, not necessarily popular ebooks, but interesting ones. Yeah, so I was going to mention the other thing, besides newsletters, the other side of that is blogs. So I recommend trying to find blogs that cater to your genre interests, because often those blogs will have either they will have dedicated posts talking about deals. So one of my very favorite ones is Smart Bitches Trashy Books. That is a romance blog, and they have a daily post about deals on romance novels. But then also in the comments of blogs, there people who read in that genre will often let each other know if there's a good deal going on. So not only do I read that post on Smart Bitches Trashy Books, I also always read the comments, because sometimes people will say, oh, hey, did you see this ebook is also on sale today, and let people know. So Smart Bitches Trashy Books for romance, Book Riot, I think they tend to have a lot of genres, but often with more kind of a literary bent. You just need to kind of dig around and find the ones that appeal to you. Was eReaderIQ an app or a site? It is a site. Kobo offers the same price as Amazon when books go on sale, and Kobo offers points that can be redeemed for free books. Good to know. Okay, I knew they did price matching, but I didn't know about that points thing. Okay, yeah, BookBub is another one that I was going to mention in terms of sort of a newsletter type thing. There's a few different services like that, but I personally really like BookBub. And it basically, if you tell them what genres you're interested in, every day they send you a digest of books that are free. Like, a lot of them are free, but they're often on pretty steep discounts. Sometimes they're a little repetitive to the daily deal that's already happening for Amazon or wherever. But they also, I think that people like pay to get put into BookBub. So you can get I found like some new authors to me through BookBub because they were offering a book for free, and I tried it and liked it. So I think that BookBub is definitely a good one as well. Blogs are always having giveaways. That's another thing. Yeah, you can definitely win books through blogs as well. If I find a deal on a non-Kindle ebook, am I able to read it on Kindle, or does Amazon not allow it? I have a program on my computer called Calibri, and it allows you to convert files into different file formats. So like if I got an EPUB, it would be able to convert something to a Mobi, which Kindle will do. So the answer is yes, but you're going to have to do a little bit more work. So is Kobo an e-reader device? Yes, it's kind of similar to like Kindle. Let's see here. Can you use Kindle to read Kobo books? No, like I was mentioning though, you can convert, but it's going to take more work. Let's see here. Yes, authors pay for being included in BookBub and they have to apply for the privilege. Yeah, BookBub is like contested space, but it works. I mean, it definitely is a good discovery tool, I think. So those were some of the things I wanted to mention on eBooks. What else did I want to talk about for eBooks? We talked about daily deals, monthly deals. Book Funnel is good too. I've never heard of Book Funnel. I'll have to check that out. Someone else, Loving Calibri. Free Booksy and Bargain Booksy also send daily emails, but they overlap with BookBub. I've not heard of either of those. Yeah, there's a few services like BookBub. So there's one called Book Perk, I think, that I subscribe to. I don't remember doing it, but I get emails from them. Festivals like Y'all West, who knows when or if we'll get them again. But yeah, you can definitely get books at different kind of like in-person events and conventions. Sometimes ebooks are more expensive than paper books. Yes, it's like against my religion to pay more for an ebook than for a physical book. I just can't do it. Quick question, Nook or Kindle? I'm a Kindle person, basically because I got locked into that ecosystem more than like whenever Kindle came out. And so that's kind of where my library is. So I don't really foresee myself moving away from that, but I know, I especially think if I was going to do it today, I might think about doing Kobo. I've heard mixed reviews on the actual device of Kobo, but I don't know. Who knows? So, okay, anything else I wanted to mention? Oh, yeah, I was just going to mention in general Twitter and social media. So if you follow authors you're interested in, or if you follow people who read in the same genres that you read in, social media can be a great way to find out about deals, either authors promoting their own deals when they go on, or just people noticing that there's a good deal and posting about it. I will often put, if I find a particularly good deal that I'm excited about, I will often either post it to Twitter or in my Insta stories, just because I, as we can tell, I love the thrill of a deal and I want to share the love. So that can also be a way to kind of get alerted when some of those kinds of deals are happening. Early bird books is another. Most of the books aren't free, just discounted, but there's usually one free book at the end of the email. Oh, good to know. Would you say the best way to sell or exchange physical books they no longer want to keep? eBay, give to charity shops, any particular website? I do all of my book selling back to my local used bookstore. I have been doing that literally since I can remember. McKay's has been a part of my life from time immemorial. And that's honestly part of why I'm so gentle on books, is because I always have a mind that I might be reselling them. So I'm personally somebody who does resales at my local bookstore. I don't know if other people have experiences they want to talk about of trying to sell online, but I have never felt the need to do that. A tablet with both Nook and Kindle software. That's a great point. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I guess I could do that on my iPad. Yeah, I guess if you wanted to get, if you're okay reading on an iPad or a tablet, you could just read from whichever app you want. Any recs for who to follow on Twitter for alerts? Ooh, not off the top of my head. I'd have to go look. Some are more spammy than others. I tend to mostly just like follow authors I like, because I find that if you're plugged into the different networks of books you're interested in, if there's a good deal, like people will mention it when it happens. What do you think of Scribd? I actually have a whole review video on Scribd, so you can go check that out. I got great books from your Instagram. Great. I'm glad that that was helpful. I own a tablet. I downloaded Kindle and Nook, and also have Google Books too, Samsung tablet. There you go. That's a great, I never even thought about that, but that would actually probably, well, I really like having a dedicated e-reader, but I like that strategy. I have to think about it. I donate used books to my library. That's also a great option. Or Little Free Library. I've been doing that recently since it's harder to get to the physical bookstore these days. Though all of my Little Free Libraries in my area are totally full because I think everybody's doing the same thing. Let's see here. I read Kindle on my Android tablet. There you go. Okay. Pre-pandemic, I organized occasional book swap meetings, and lots of exchanges happened at book club meetings. Yeah, that's a great idea. I would get a headache if I read on my tablet. Yeah, I can't read, I don't think I could read a whole book in one sitting on my tablet the way that I can on my e-reader, but if you're willing to give old books away, they're sometimes taken by senior centers, and women's shelters. That is true. You can always donate books. Yeah, for sure. Okay, did I cover everything? Okay, I guess the last thing I was going to mention is the other way to get, at least at first, free ebooks and eventually free physical books is if you become a reviewer. So NetGalley is my preferred site, app, whatever, for ebook review, like review copies. Those are called ARCs, advanced reader copies. And my suggestion, if you're interested in reviewing on NetGalley, you could just review on Goodreads. You don't necessarily have to be like a public, like you don't have to have like a blog or a channel or whatever. You can just review on Goodreads for them. A way to kind of build up your percentages and make it more likely for people to give you books that you're more interested in is if you go to the Read Now section on NetGalley. There are books that you don't have to get approved to get a copy of. So you can just go there and start reading and reviewing from that section. And as your reviewing percentages or like your kind of history of providing reviews gets better and better, you're more likely to get approved for advanced copies of books that you're anticipating that are coming out. I will say that probably my experience is somewhat skewed because I do have pretty good numbers here on YouTube and Goodreads, so I pretty much get approved for almost anything I ask for at this point. Not always, some of like the big bestsellers I don't. But for the most part, I pretty much get what I want from NetGalley. So if you're interested and you're willing to put in the time to provide a review, then that is a great way to get upcoming releases for free as ebooks. And if you have a more visible reviewing platform, or if that's something you're interested in cultivating, if you can build a platform, if you can build an audience, eventually you will be offered physical books for free from publishers. That I think takes a while to happen. I think honestly, at least on YouTube, I have found that you probably need to have around 5,000 subscribers to really consistently be able to get those physical books. I'm somebody who's not super aggressive about getting physical ARCs. I'm usually pretty much just as happy to have an e-ARC. I know other people who are more aggressive about that or more interested in trying to get those, and they have success doing that. Some of that is about building networks and building relationship with publishers who, especially like if you have a specific niche interest, they're more willing to kind of like work with you and give you specific books that you might be interested in that are within the genre that you've kind of built expertise around. So I would say, I don't know what my numbers are right now. I think I'm 18,000, somewhere in there. I don't necessarily get all the physical ARCs I ask for. It is harder to get physical ARCs, especially outside of YA. So if that's like a goal of yours, I do find that it can be harder depending on what your interests are, and it takes more work on your part. Like basically all that to say, you can get books for free from publishers, physical books. Usually you have to have a little bit more of an audience. It's more work on your part. So like if you're willing to do that work, great. it will probably take some time to cultivate those relationships, but I'm at the point where I usually am getting 1 to 3 physical books from publishers a month, and that's really about, I'm somewhat, I don't just have like the door open for me for people to just send me whatever. I try to be selective about things that I let people send me, but that is also a possibility. Okay, let me catch up with chat here. I use Kindle app on my phone with setting of backlight super low. Yeah, I can find ways to make it work okay. It's just not my preferred method. I used to review books for a blog and I seem to get all the duds. You need to get seniority for established authors. I do think that that's true. Yeah. My NetGalley ratio is garbage right now. I really need to get caught up on my reviews. Yeah, that's the other thing is you'll have more chance of getting books if you have a good ratio. My Virgo moon and gamification element, I am very I try to keep my ratio pretty high. I think I stay in the 90s. That's usually my goal. So there's also Books First. Oh yeah. Any tips for getting audiobooks? I would like to try to listen to books, but the prices seem really high. In terms of owning audiobooks, I don't have a ton of great tips, honestly. I think that it's hard to get audiobooks legally for a good price. I would honestly recommend more looking into something like Scribd or using your library rather than owning them. But if other people have ideas, they're welcome to shout them out. I mean, there's there's deals on Audible. Like I get the daily deal email from them. I'm sure Libro has similar, but yeah. Only issue I have with NetGalley is that I'm like 2 years behind on everything. Yeah, you got to catch up or else the ratios are not so great. Are ARC's final work? It depends. Sometimes they're technically not, no. Sometimes publishers will send final copies as an advanced copy. So I guess in that sense, technically the final version becomes an ARC, and in that case, yes. But usually ARCs are like the uncorrected proofs. So sometimes things will change between when you read it and when it gets published. I don't think I've ever heard of a situation of a book I've read where it materially changed when it was published. I became friends on social media with some Canadian authors and they will send me their new books now. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you networking is a big part of if you really want to start getting books in advance for free. I've gotten ARCs directly from the authors. Yes. Yeah, and sometimes if you subscribe to like authors' newsletters or you follow them on social media, they will give away copies of ARCs. So for audiobooks, LibriVox is a website in the public domain. You can either volunteer to read or listen for free. There you go. I can imagine too many ARCs could become overwhelming. I think that's like it was at least I had this as a rookie mistake, and I know a lot of people have, if you, essentially your eyes being bigger than your stomach kind of a thing. So if you ask for too many and then you just can't keep up with them, that can become a problem. Booktubers are often offered nice books by publishers and authors. I am grateful for this as I'm a booktube watcher and learn so much about possible books I want to read, but don't make videos. Yeah, and I mean, I think keep in mind, like the reason anybody is getting something for free from a publisher is that it is some form of promotion, and there's an implicit expectation that you will read and review the book, and I think that's something that people should take seriously. If you ask for something, kind of the contract implied there is that you're going to do something with it. So, and I try to take that. I have the opportunity to read a lot of anticipated titles, at least in the categories that I read in. And I know you guys are interested in finding out what I think about them or getting a sense of what those books are like. So I try to do my best to stay on top of reading ahead so I can give you advance notice. I just read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse this weekend, which was so freaking good. So good. But like I got that opportunity because I had reviewed favorably, like I had already been reviewing for that publisher, so I think they knew that they could trust that I would read the book in advance and give it a review early. So there you go. Do you have to pay for a Scribd membership? Yes, I think it's like $9 US right now a month. Yeah. YouTube has free audiobooks you can listen to. Yeah. I use Audible to get expensive audiobooks that are usually very long books. I enjoy Audible, nice on tired eyes. Yeah, I use Audible basically as a way to pre-order books from authors I'm trying to support, but I want to listen to his audio. So Chip is good for discounted audiobooks. There you go. Local library sells audiobooks on CD for a reasonable price. I don't have anything that will play a CD anymore, so that's my problem, but yeah. I mentioned Chirp too. It has a weekly deal for audiobooks. Oh, okay, good to know. Let's see here. I get lots of physical ARCs from friends who work in libraries and bookstores. There you go. Used to have Libro box in the beginning days. Then when they started adding to have to pay ones, the free books in public domain were pushed down and the organization was bad. Okay. I think Script has free 30 days to start. Yeah, I think that's true. So I think those are most of my tips and tricks. In terms of just like overall principles, I think one of the biggest things you can do to get deals is to understand how pricing works and how pricing cycles work for different types of books. Like in this chat, people have mentioned things like, hey, before a paperback is about to come out, often hardbacks will go on sale because they're trying to reduce inventory. Or similarly for like an ebook situation, if you don't pre-order an ebook but you wait a little bit, it will often have like a pretty big price drop. And just in general, ebooks tend to have pretty good deals on them versus a physical book. Like, I think one of the best ways to get deals on books is basically to like just have some awareness of how the pricing tends to work and how you can kind of make that work to your advantage. The other big thing on getting deals on books is patience and being willing to wait things out. So I think if you need a book tomorrow, it's going to be a lot harder to get a good deal on it. If you can wait a week, 2 weeks, a month, 4 years, whatever, I definitely feel like I have some books in my wish lists that I've been watching for years. And at this point, it's like a matter of principle of like, someday, Penguin Random House, you will realize that you need to put this author's backlist on sale and I will scoop all of these books up. But, you know, if you have patience, you often can get a better price than you would if you need something tomorrow. Do books increase in price if they are optioned for a film or TV show? I actually find that if that happens, a lot of times they'll put the ebook version on sale because they're trying to drive interest in that property. So like, I think when Outlander was first going, like that book went on sale on ebook version. I'm not sure about the physical book. Then again, often we then see a physical book that has a tie into that property and God, I hate those. I'm glad I retired so I can read all day. That is like, honestly, my goal. I'm trying to save so I can retire early, man. Anyone know where to get deals for more academic texts? Ugh. Academic books are so freaking expensive. So my tip there is do still put it in your wish list because there is variability on pricing on academic texts. Like pretty big, like recently I had one I ended up getting that had been, when I put it in my wish list, it was at 90 and then it price dropped to 45. So there can be price drops on academic texts, but honestly, those are good ones to save up for points or for gift cards. So like those are ones that, you know, in terms of awareness on pricing, you know that academic texts are much less likely to ever have like a good price on them. So those are ones that if you really want that book, like that would be a good place to use a gift card because they're just expensive. Barnes & Noble's Bargain Books is a good section to check out for out-of-date hardbacks. Yes, that's true. Powell's and Alibris have textbooks. Yeah, it's tricky because what textbooks are expensive, but then like books from academic presses are also really expensive, even though they're not technically textbooks, and they can be on very niche topics. So sometimes there's not like, I don't know, good deals on them. I use Big Words for academic text. Ooh, okay, Jillian, I'm gonna have to go check that out. Chegg for textbooks. Math books never decrease in value. Oh, Big Words compares all books for sale and gives you the cheapest book. Thank you. Okay. You can rent academic texts from Chegs. Okay, good to know. Yeah, people are talking about textbooks, and yeah, there's definitely tons of places to get textbooks. This is I'm thinking more like academic press stuff is harder. I waited a year for a former professor's academic published book to become used. Yeah, that's another good option for things from academic presses. Let's see here. Okay. So I am probably running out of juice here on my phone, and my voice is dry AF because I left my drink in the other room. But any final questions or thoughts? Other tips people have? Yeah, I'm loving the suggestions, but I was thinking of University Press. That's what I was thinking too. If it's just a journal article, though, try to contact the authors. From what I understand, they don't make anything from the publication. Oh, that's a good idea. And they might give you a PDF of the manuscript to read for free. That's a great tip, Aberdeen. Sometimes Amazon has Oxford or Cambridge Press books for sale. Yeah, that was the example I gave. That one was a Cambridge Press. So it does happen. It's just like less frequent. And they start so expensive that like the fact that I thought of $45 as a deal on that book tells you something. So thanks for doing this. No, my pleasure. This is something I've been meaning to do for a long time. I get a lot of requests for this particular topic, and I am going to try to put some time. I'm going to go back and build out the description tomorrow. I've been very annoyed because the original stream I had my full like beefed out description, and I'm going to have to redo all that. But I'll have some links, and I will put timestamps in for people who are watching on playback. So 45 is a deal. I have one on my wish list for like $100. Yeah. And there's one that I keep delaying pulling the trigger on. It's $50 and I don't need it, but I want it. It was one of the main books I used in my thesis and I just liked it and I want it, but it's hard for me to justify spending that. I'm going to wait. Maybe I'll wait till the next time I get a gift card. Also check local bookstores near the university where the authors work. That is a great idea. Thank you for doing this video. It's super helpful and great to meet others who like to find books at good prices. Thank you to everyone who offered such great suggestions. Yes. Sometimes local stores get University Press overstock. There you go. Thanks for making it work and powering through the technical difficulties. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. Thanks for hanging in there at the beginning. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to... I didn't change any of the settings, so I'm confused why that was not working. Would I ever do a video about my thesis? Yeah, before 2020 became 2020, I had planned on doing some video essays this year, which would have been drawing from some of the stuff from my thesis. And I don't think most of those are going to happen, but I'm tentatively thinking I would like to do at least one video essay based on some of my thesis stuff, which would be basically arguing why Jane Eyre's ending is actually great, and a lot of the hate it gets is like not reading the type of book it is attentively, and kind of bringing our own assumptions about what that ending should be to the table. So I may try to get to that this year. At some point I do want to do some videos based on that thesis stuff. Let's see here. Also stock a class before you take it and buy the book from a student who just took the class. Yeah. Now I want to read Jane Eyre again. You should just always read Jane Eyre. Please do it if you can. I love that book. Yeah, I definitely would like to do it. It's the plan. We'll see if it happens. Good night. I enjoyed Deal with the Devil by Kit Rocha. Oh, good. Glad you enjoyed it. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for bearing with me. And thank you for just the collective wisdom, because there's a lot of good tips in here and a couple things that I'm going to go check out now that people have mentioned it. So hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm going to fix this thumbnail because it bothers me. And I will talk to you guys later.